name is LoeyLane, and I'm so excited to tell you guys about my new podcast, Internet Urban Legends, with my BFF Snitchery.
We deep dive into the darkest corners of the internet to uncover whether some of the most notorious web myths are hoax or whether they're con. Internet Urban Legends, available exclusively on Spotify.
Hello, my loves. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, hello. My name is Loey. Two quick things. One, I am currently traveling, so I am in a lovely hotel room at the moment, hence why my background and the lighting and all of that is different. I hope it's okay. Number two, I just went to a theme park for the first time in like forever recently, and I was screaming on roller coasters, so my voice is a bit raspy. It really has been a while since we've explored the dark and the scary side of TikTok. And of course, I'm making a video, so you know that I have found something truly disturbing. Today, in the form of a couple who bought a pandemic house at auction and found out after they got into the home and began their renovation process that the walls of this home contained darker secrets than anyone could have ever seen coming. Before we get into it, today's video is kindly sponsored by Audible, one of my favorite sponsors to work with. If you don't already know, Audible is the leading audiobook provider with hundreds of thousands of audiobook titles to choose from. I've been a long time user of Audible, and I find that it's a service that continues to grow with its user base and just as a company in general. It used to be that you would get one audiobook credit every single month, which is still certainly the case, that you can use to get any audiobook of your choosing. Again, that's still part of the service and is one of my favorite ways to use Audible, but they also offer so many Audible originals in the form of everything from guided meditation to Audible exclusive podcasts and so much more. Audible makes consuming books easy. You can listen to them while you're working out, on a drive, cleaning your room. Actually, the book that I've been reading and the one that I wanted to recommend to all of you is Atomic Habits by James Clear. I am like 3 hours into the book. I have about 3.5 hours left. We're still sort of in that new year phase, right? We're only in the first couple of months of the year, and I find that for me, this is really a time to refresh, remotivate, and get clear on what it is I want to accomplish in the following year. So I find that listening to like self-help books is a great way for me to get and stay motivated. So if you want to get started and try Audible today to once again get 1 credit every single month to spend on titles of your choice, as well as access to such a huge catalog of Audible originals, podcasts, and so much more, you can go to audible.com/Loey and get your first 30 days of Audible for free. You can also text Loey to 500-500. Once again, that's audible.com/Loey or text Loey to 500-500 to get started with Audible today. Thanks Audible for sponsoring this video and for being such an amazing service I use all the time. And now let's get into the story. For so many of my scary side of TikTok videos, we look at like a ton of different accounts with disturbing content and just dissect each and every one. However, my favorite way to do this series, this kind of content, is to really focus on one account, to focus on the stories and the scares and whatever mystery that we can unravel with one TikTok account. And that's certainly going to be the case today. The account in question is called GeeBeeTV. Now, they have an entire TikTok account that I'll have linked down below, as well as their full YouTube channel. To me, it seems anyway, this couple did not start out thinking they were going to be documenting some viral scary story. They started off by talking about their 1920s home that they bought at auction and documenting the renovation process of it. However, really quickly into these TikToks, bizarre things began to happen. As they're doing their renovation process, they essentially find a hidden room, a door that was enclosed behind a wall that had been built up to keep it shut forever. Naturally, as I think many of us would do, you're either team break into the room, tear the wall down, gotta know what's inside, which is team me, or you are team sell the house, run away, never turn back. They, much like me, were too curious to know what was inside, so they tore down the wall, broke into the room, and what they found was honestly more astounding than I could have ever imagined. You would think maybe some old items from previous owners, maybe like a creepy doll or something left behind. They found in a black bag hanging from the ceiling a Holy Bible. Now, when opening this up, there are tons of items inside, what looks like birth certificates, different documents, photos, as well as pages literally ripped out and missing. What I found really interesting was as I was exploring this entire account further and just checking comments, because I feel like people usually have like good insight on these videos and their comments tend to get really boosted. Somebody said that sometimes with pages missing from a Bible, it's a sign that somebody may have done a ritual of sorts to either sell their soul or just do some kind of ritual with a Bible. So I don't know if that would be the case here or if that's what that implies, but either way, really weird because it was found in a black bag hanging from the ceiling of a room that had been permanently closed off on purpose, clearly. But the show must go on, and the couple continued to renovate the home. They wound up knocking down all of these walls. It seems like this was almost like a little nook under the stairs that maybe previously could have been a closet of sorts, but after finding a literal Bible hanging from the ceiling in this room, they just decided, bad vibes, we'll knock it all down. Understandable, honestly. The renovations on the account continued, and I'd also like to say I'm not showing you every single video on the account here. There were other videos where they were touring homes, just doing renovation work, stuff like that. However, in the next video that is related to just the creepiness of their own home, they wound up talking about what it was like to explore the attic space.
I wish we never checked the attic. Who would leave this behind?
When exploring the attic, they found a ton of stuff that I think will come into play later. But for now, we're going to be focusing on a suitcase, a singular, like blue and white suitcase that they found on the ground, covered in dust in the attic. I have a really old house that was built in the 20s as well, and my house came chock full of items that were left behind by previous owners, renters, everything. Like, there is just random stuff that people tend to miss when a house has been really loved and really lived in. So to me, it wasn't that alarming to see just a suitcase that had been accidentally left behind in an attic, of course, because, you know, maybe you're not being that thorough when you move out of an attic. However, when they got into the suitcase and showed the items inside, it seems very purposeful that it was indeed left behind by whoever put the items together. Quick content warning ahead, as the items in the box do seem to indicate child loss of some kind. Nothing physical, but just warning you if that's something that will upset you, that is what is to come. There were items that would seem to indicate that someone had had a miscarriage or had lost a child in some capacity. There was a dusty children's teddy bear, as well as like an angel figure of what looks like, at least to me, because again, you can't get a great look based on the videos, it looks like a little angel, like a child kissing a mother that had been burned. Then inside of the bag was a red stained cloth covered in what looks like blood, as well as a cross made out of like really thick wood and bound in white string. Due, of course, to the nature of the items and the fact that, let's be totally honest, this looks like a bloody rag, they were advised to send off the items for further testing. And so there are no updates to the contents of the suitcase, at least for the time being. I think that that alone would be enough to rattle someone who had bought a house that is easily 100 years old at this point, to find a suitcase filled with that kind of stuff in the attic. But it gets so much weirder. As the renovations continue, they're finding more stuff just in the walls of the home. On top of exposed brick in the attic, there's a box of what looks like almost like camera parts, like I'm looking at it right now. Very old wires or something that looks like it could have been like a home project, something that someone made, and it was just left in the walls of the home. Also in the attic, in a very similar spot, at least it seems to me, was a purple shawl that was sort of shoved into the brick. Now, behind this is a black and white photo of what looks to be a very large family, like a ton of, parents, uncles, everyone in between. And I assume family, and not that it's like a business gathering or something, because there's a lot of children in the photo as well. The photo is really heavily ripped, and what's alarming is on one of the men in the image, the eyes are fully burned and blacked out, and just, it gives me chills to look at. The poster points out, is this the family who lived here before us? months. The photo has been burnt and damaged, as well as stating that the children all have a strange look in their eyes. During this time, they wound up like breaking down the ceiling in some rooms, and a ton of just black ash flew out everywhere. It seems like these people have like some experience in renovation, so I'm assuming this isn't normal, but I also don't renovate houses or know anything about them, so I don't know if there's a reason there would be all this black ash in the ceilings, or if it would indicate that something happened there, like a fire, but wanted to point that out. And if you do know the answer to that, let me know below. They did a bit of a recap video in which I think we can kind of start to see into how they're feeling, the couple, about the entire ordeal surrounding the home. Really, they've just showed us in real time, seemingly, everything that they found as they found it. But in this video, they break down all of the events that have transpired, exactly how they're feeling, as well as give us light updates to certain situations. So they said strange things have started happening. Why did we uncover that room or touch the Bible? Destroying the room was a mistake. Somebody left this case for a reason. The items weren't meant to be touched. We see here, as they say, we don't know what's wrapped in these big like plastic bundles that could be rugs or something like that, but they have not touched them seemingly. But this is where it gets really weird. Floating things have started swarming. Now, in this, it looks like a ton of dust, maybe that has been kicked up from the renovation, but they said floating things have started swarming and rubble started falling down the chimney. Then something came at me. They show in this video what looks to be an orb flying directly at the camera. Again, there's a lot of dust in these videos, but this seems like a very targeted, like straight at them orb. They go on to say, we have to get this case out of the house, but we can't leave yet. All of this is well and good. I had 1 trillion tags in each and every one of these videos. But it is really the next two that I was tagged in so much, more than anything else, I think. As I was looking for videos for a scary side of TikTok, this was how I knew I needed to cover this account, because I couldn't find any video that wasn't this. Literally, my mentions were just at Loey, at Loey, at Loey, at Loey, like in this video. As they are exploring the attic further, our poster finds a small wooden like jewelry box. It's clearly covered in dust, has not been touched in ages.
Imagine finding this in your attic. I was only trying to fill the gaps in the wall with insulation. But this story keeps getting darker. It looks old. And there's writing carved into the lid. It's locked. I wonder if there's a key. Can anyone translate this? I'll look for a key and see if I can open it.
Like, I'd like to say here that I might be an idiot, but I think all of this is real. I have not seen a single thing that I do not think is authentic with this story. I don't think this is an ARG. I think all of this is legitimate and really, really creepy. And I feel like that doesn't happen very often with TikTok horror stories for me. If it is an ARG, which is of course totally possible, they are doing a phenomenal job at seeming convincing, because look at this box. It is covered in dust behind like untouched cobwebs that clearly could not be staged, you know? So the wooden box comes out and there's something like etched into the top of the lid. There's no way I can say what it says and I would butcher and offend so many people. However, according to the comments, both from ex-SophieCat and Saskia Ja, the statement means do not release or don't release me. And the pentagram on the side is meant to make you take it more seriously. The video following this begins with the poster breaking into a mirror. They go on to explain that I guess upon finding this mirror, which we have seen in previous just shots from the attic, which again, covered in dust, very clearly there from the old owners, that they heard something like rattling inside. And actually, when they show this mirror, maybe it's just like a trick of the light, the edge of the mirror seemed really domed to me. Like the glass looked domed and like it had been put there. Not like, I don't know, like a mirror you would normally buy. After breaking into the mirror by smashing it, the poster finds a key. And it is the key to that tiny little box. He has been warned not to open it. It says, "Do not open me, do not release." And in 2022, I wouldn't push my luck with that, but he, I think, does choose to open it. And at the time of recording this, that was a few days ago, and there has not been an update since. There might be by the time that I post this video, and if there is some kind of conclusion, I'll include it after this with like a little voiceover, but if not, you wouldn't be seeing this part of the video, so anyway. And of course, the reveal of what was in the box came out right after I filmed this video. In this TikTok, basically the poster recaps how they found the locked box in the attic wall, as well as the key hidden inside of the mirror. So using this, he opens up the box and inside is really fascinating stuff. First off, we see almost what looks like a Ouija board planchette. However, the poster updates that it is like covered in wax. There's also this small pendant necklace. Everything looks obviously very dated. There's like ash everywhere in the box. Clearly things were burned and tossed in there. There's another key and a lock of pure silver hair. I guess one of the big projects has been replacing insulation, and under the floorboards was found also a black box coated in wax. Now, as you probably would have already guessed, the poster decided to try out the extra key that he found in the smaller box and see basically if this would unlock it. But as you can see, it's just covered in wax, so he couldn't quite break into it. I guess for the sake of the puzzle that this page is almost becoming, the key does fit. However, there is so much wax lodged inside, the only way would be to melt it. But even when the poster does this, it doesn't open. So he breaks out his tools and it gets the box open. And then that is where the story actually ends for now. That is where the story ends for now. And I really want to know what you guys think about this one. This is one of the most convincing, compelling, bizarre stories I've ever seen on TikTok. I don't even know what I'm going to title this because there's so much to it. I mean, hidden rooms, lock boxes written in different languages telling you do not open, burned photos of families with members of its eyes blacked out. Like, there is so much to this and it never gets any less freaky. If you do have thoughts on it, let me know down below, and if there are any updates, I'll be sure to keep a close eye on this one. I think that it's something that has really freaked me out, and I'm excited to keep tabs on it. For now, that's it for this video, and I'm going to go ahead and go. A huge thank you to all of my channel members for supporting my channel. If you ever do want to join my channel memberships, get an extra video every single month that's usually more personal and based in witchcraft or just other fun things, you can click the little join button. It should be somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. For now, thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.